Welcome to Beat the Clock with clocker Bruno De Julio. I'm your host, Scotty McKeever, bringing you exclusive insights straight from the track. We are your eyes on the ground, focusing on first-time starters, horses of interest, top favorites, sleepers that you might want to know about. Tonight, we're covering all races from Keeneland, Friday, the 26th, April 26th. And joining us as we uncover these hidden gems, of course, as always, my partner, Bruno De Julio. What's going on, my man?
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on tonight. You got NFL drafts going. I love these guys going in with their sunglasses. I should have dressed up like some of them. Got glasses on, my sunglasses at night, and just being cool. Yeah.
So, Bruno, we've got we're going to cover every race here. There's 10 races at Keeneland. We've got, like, in this first race at Keeneland tomorrow, we've got 5 horses. And speaking of tomorrow, don't forget we've got Road to the NHC with David Harrison, 2022 NHC champ and silver champ of 2024. So that's tomorrow morning at 11:30 Eastern time. So tune in for that on this Friday. And let's start off here, Bruno. We're going to run the simulated race tomorrow, okay? And this will lead us. I'm gonna sort it by the top pace number on the top, and then we're going to run the race from start to finish. Let's go. All right, so the 9 horse is going to be super fast in here. You've got a lot of first-time starters as well. And this is what the simulator is saying so far. You can see the top Scotty pick is the 7. The second is the 12. And the Scotty long shot is the 9 horse, who's drifting back a little bit here. But when watching this too, we need to look at the EquinEdge morning line. We need to look at the GSR. And but why don't we hit up the 5 horse Biv first, because this horse wins the simulated race. And you've got a video on this horse on the April 6th work, but here's what it says. It says Biv best inside of Mo Picks, please, and Joanne in 12, 23, 48, and 2 for Biv on even terms with Joan, and 2 back to Mo Picks. That's pretty decent. And here's a look at the workout itself. Talk us through this with Biv, who's on the rail.
Well, first of all, for the baby to be on the rail, pressed by the outside, I was kind of impressed by that. He's out of a turf sire, and Biv showed a lot of quickness from that inside. Now, I don't, I let my eyes judge the ability of a horse from the gate, not the splits. But as you can tell right here, Biv is down on the inside, really handling the other 2 well. Now, Joan had a horrible work the time before, came back with a good work on the outside. Mo Picks, please, was scratched today. He kind of backed out, being in between. But as you can tell, Biv, the rider, is not moving at all, and did it very well. Joan, I liked a lot too, but Joan may be a bit quirky. Now, go back, and I'll tell you why I think he's a little quirky.
Okay.
When you go back and fast forward down the stretch, I always pay attention to the equipment that is on horses. Now, Scotty, I'm going to put you on the clock here, as Roger Goodell would say, and tell me the equipment on Biv, the equipment on Joan, and the equipment on Mo Picks, please. You're on the clock.
Well, there's something going on underneath the horse, like that's kind of steering the horse. Maybe it's lugging in.
No, I'm talking about equipment.
So, okay, let me see that. Let me look a little bit closer.
Yeah, here. Look at it again. You got what is Biv wearing?
I can't really tell.
They're regular blinkers.
Those are blinkers?
Those are blinkers.
Okay.
So I think he's got blinkers on. The outside has got blinkers on. He's got a little bit thin shadow roll. And Mo Picks, please, has got a big shadow roll with blinkers. I pay attention the horses that have those shadow rolls already and the blinkers on, because that tells me that they've had to get those horses to move forward by using equipment. So a lot of the times, all that equipment on there kind of turns me off. Biv did it okay. He's out of a turf sire. He showed some speed. I've got other horses that I'm gonna look at.
Okay, so for me, visually looking at Biv, and I obviously am no clocker and can't look at horses like you do, but for me, especially since we've added your workout reports and videos to the site, that didn't look very smooth to me. So
he was okay. He wasn't bad, but then you got to remember too, Scott. He's working on dirt and running on turf.
That is a wonderful point. Actually, let's look at the GSR Plus grid. Both of them. Here's the thing. Look, the dirt is a 46 on the tab, and turf is a 48. And that's low considering 100 is best. I don't think these are great horses, but the GSR is kind of average. I think this entire field is a bunch of average horses. From that perspective, maybe you have to give a look. I'm hoping that one of the other 4 remaining horses that we have videos on will be better than that, though. Let's look at the 7. So Saturday Flirt did have a turf workout. Another horse that's a first-time starter for Wesley Ward did have a workout on the turf, but that was back in March. When you look at this...
Well, the only thing he's doing there, Scotty, he's giving him a feel.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay? Look at the horse that we liked last week, the Toner. He got bet today. Yeah. That horse ran like he had no idea what was under his feet. I don't know why Kaio Karamori ran him on the turf.
Yeah.
He had no idea what's going on. At least with Saturday Flirt, this horse got a little bit of a chance to go over the turf and get a feel for it. It's not about how fast they go with these young horses. It's giving them the feel. So when they step onto that turf course, they're not going, what am I on? What is this? Can I graze? Can I eat it? Oh, I got to run on it? I want to eat it. So
Simon Bray was quoted as saying, "Don't look at the clock, look at the horse." And that's very true, obviously, right? I mean, I guess you could look at the horse, and if the horse is doing it easy,
I've been saying that for 25 years.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you who said it first. It was Francois Bouton. Francois Bouton, when he brought over Arazi for the Derby, he said American trainers spend too much time looking at the stopwatch and not enough at their horse. And that's absolutely 100% true.
Yeah. Okay, which of these workouts does it matter? The April 13th, April 5th, you've given 3 stars to both of them.
I would let's take a look at the April 13th.
Okay. So Saturday Flirt is in front right now of Monterey Bay. Do we know how good?
What that wrote? And look at what I wrote. He dusted Monterey Bay, who was 8-5 today.
How did Monterey Bay run today?
Ran 4th. Very green. Didn't do anything at all. But hey, Monterey Bay, run the work, and you'll see what I'm talking about. They don't go 50 together.
Right.
Go run the work. Look how far Saturday Flirt's in front.
Yeah, but he's clearly asking.
How did he get a 50?
He's clearly asking the horse, though.
That doesn't matter. You're equating. You're putting your energy into something that really. That horse showed a lot of speed, and he won easy.
The horse was all out to go 50-3.
Who?
Saturday Flirt.
No, at 35-4. Read the report.
Says
he went 35-4 the last 3 8s. He didn't go 50-3. Monterey Bay went 50-3. They gave them both the same time.
Well, okay. Well, that's confusing as shit. I mean, look. I mean,
how's it confusing? We had 35-4, Scott. I'm telling you, I got 35-4. I got to run the official time.
Okay, so you've got it written down here. So Saturday Flirt dusted Monterey in 35-4, but the official clocking. Okay, so I see what you're saying. So
I don't look at the official clocking. If my mother asked me to look at the official clocking, I still wouldn't do it.
Okay,
because it's bullshit. That was a bullshit. You could look at it, and what I did there is I actually texted Wesley Ward and said, I got this with Saturday Flirt, and he said, you're right. So that is an inside nugget there because it shows up as a 50. He really went 35-4. What he did is they clocked the other horse and just gave them both the same time.
Gotcha. 35.
I don't want to get any conspiracy theories. I don't want to go into any of stuff like that about why they did it. But Saturday Flirt worked much faster. Now, go back one more work on Saturday Flirt.
Okay, let's go back one more.
Go back to the April 5th work out of the gate.
Okay.
Okay? Now, you see the time is 35-3, right?
Yep.
But pay attention to what I wrote. Him and Dream Away, who won impressively the other day, went 48-1 for the half. Now, well, how does that happen? Because they gave him 3/8 to the wire. They're all three together. Dream Away is inside. Saturday Flirt outside. And the horse in between is named Burning Pine, who is in later in the card.
Right.
So he's going to back out. He goes 3/8 and he backs out right here. So look at Saturday Flirt. See the horse in the middle? He's kind of backing out. Saturday Flirt's going to be best, and they're going to go 48-1.
Okay, so by the way, Saturday Flirt's the top Scotty pick, just so you know. So
yeah,
that's a good sign that you like that work and
nothing much gets past you, buddy.
I know what. No, you look. I got you. I got eyes on what you're doing. Let me tell you. So you better be careful.
Oh, you're watching?
I'm watching you. I've got people that are watching. I can't be everywhere, but
you look good. You look good.
This is a really good sign, though. I'm glad we're matching, though. The system is matching what you're saying. Now, unfortunately, the odds maker is making the 7-horse 7-5 on the morning line. Wesley Ward, Irad Ortiz. So it's gonna end up being the favorite here. But okay, let's get on to race or the 9-horse.
No. You got one more to look at.
What's that?
You got one more to look at.
All right, we're gonna look at this one. All right.
You're gonna look at flip flops.
Okay.
April 18th.
April 18th. What do you mean flip flops? No, 4. Oh, the 4-horse. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't have that horse. Hold on here.
Well, you need. Okay, go ahead and pop it in.
We can look at it. No, we can look at it. Here we go.
This is at Churchill. Flip flops is on the outside. The horse down on the rail behind him, that is Into Diamonds.
Okay.
That's the horse that won today.
That's the one behind?
Yeah.
Wow.
But watch this. Watch this unfold. Flip flops is going very easy. They gave him a 36. I got him going a half. Now you see Into Diamonds is with farther back. He gets him out of the dirt and puts him to the outside. That's the horse that won today.
That's the
And
one that's
a nice run on the outside. Flip flops is going easy in front.
Yeah. That's actually very telling right there. Very nice.
Yeah. War Will, baby, for Cassie. He already popped with Into Diamonds. That horse is very live in that spot.
All right. Well, that's the other.
Look who rides. And look who rides.
Yep. Jose Ortiz.
Yeah. So it went a half a mile in 48.4. We had him galloping out in 103-3. He was bought for $85,000 by Gary Barber. That's a horse you got to pay attention to. That's a horse that's probably going to run well.
Well, let's see. Chris is saying that Into Diamonds won the turf sprint in race number 2 today.
Yeah. That's what I just said.
Let's see here. So
He beat me.
Was the 12-horse there Into Diamonds, and
he beat me. I had Cheval Huguer, the 4. Had 4-star work on that horse.
won easily as well. Okay, well that's super great info right there.
You know, one time I used to be really good friends with Jerry Dutton, the trainer. Remember him?
Yep, of course.
Very good with 2-year-olds. One day I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, that chestnut out of the gate worked really good." And he looked up at me, and I hope I don't offend anybody. He goes, "Bruno, we ain't sitting around here licking our nuts," you know? And that's only a guy from Idaho could say, right? But,
Yeah.
you know, the point is that we're not sitting around goofing around, you know? We're getting stuff done. So.
But it makes it more real when he says it the other way.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, I was with him when we got 86 out of Baby Joe's there at Santa Anita because he said that to the waitress. She asked him if he wanted another drink, and he looked at her and goes, "Hey, honey, I ain't sitting around here licking my nuts." Well, we were out on the street.
The Scotty long shot is the 9 horse, Her Holy Name, and you gave this horse a 2-star. Here's your note. It says, West Memorial worked with Her Holy Name for Hancock and went 23-1, 47-4, 101-2. Clear by 2 lengths over Holy Name. And this is obviously.
Now, here's the thing, okay? When I looked at that, the way it worked, and you can run the video, West Memorial was much the best.
Right.
However, what they did with Her Holy Name when she ran, they grabbed her and made one run. Sometimes when you get a speed horse like West Memorial and you get a closing type like Her Holy Name, she's always going to get outworked by the guy with speed. Always. It's like Pletcher putting fierceness with Agati Road and Locked and all these horses that don't have any speed. Makes him look really good because it builds up his confidence that he can run away from competition. So when I look for is the style of the horse that's put in front or behind. Now, if they would have taken West Memorial and put him behind Her Holy Name, and Her Holy Name probably would have finished a little bit better, but still probably would have got outworked by a speed horse. So you always got to know what kind of horse it is. It's like we've been saying the last 2 weeks. You got to know who the horse is. Now, Her Holy Name is by Cantaros. They're better on the grass. This horse showed something that day with the speed, but she's not a speed horse. Now she's moving to the turf, and she's going to be making a run, and that could be very, very, she might be first or second pick on my list with flip-flops.
Well, she's 9-2 on the EquinEdge morning line. She's the Scotty long shot. I have a note here on her. Really poor trip, can run some. She was 32% on our numbers as a first-time starter. That actually says a lot. Tyler Gaffleone's jumping aboard, and I would imagine the second time out. So Hancock is let's see, with first-time starters only 10%. With second-time starters, well over, yeah. So I don't know. Mixed feelings on this one, but one you have to give a look to.
I'm not even going to mess with 2-year-olds like this.
Yeah.
Don't mess with the statistics. They will screw you up because that doesn't say 2-year-olds. That says all first-time starters. That could be a 4-year-old first-time starter, 3-year-old first-time starter, 5-year-old first-time starter, horse that is taking forever to get to the race. So to me, that's a convoluted way of looking at things. If we could we could narrow down the scope at Keeneland. What does John Hancock do with first-time starters? And I can tell you, he's had success.
Okay. On to the 10-horse Baytown Storm. I put a note on this horse as well. Seemed to have a ton of horse at the top of the stretch. Broke from the rail. And Paul McEntee is not very good with second-time out horses. But let's look at your note. It says, Baytown Storm looks sharp as 2-year-old went in 35-1, 48 flat, best over Tuxedo Park. Didn't seem to run her best last time out. Let's take a look at the workout. What do you remember about this workout?
I just think there's better horses in the field. I mean, it might be a horse you might want to look up underneath, but that was in the mud too, wasn't it?
I believe it was a sloppy track. Yeah.
I mean, the horse went well. He worked with a horse that actually got bet next time out. They're asking the outside. He worked well, but I just think there's better horses in here.
Okay. Well, the numbers suggest that what you're saying is correct. Oh, there's one more we want to look at in this race. First-time starter, Putu Gook, who 3 straight 3 stars, has first-time starter, has had a couple of works on the grass just to get acclimated for Arnold. Flavian jumps aboard. Your note says this. Bright Skittle.
It was Bright Skittle who ended up running, I think, 3rd today.
Okay. 24-2, 49-4, 102-4, both worked well.
Not set down. The horse was not set down.
Yeah, I figured that.
We haven't seen the best yet.
So Putaguk is outside. They did go 49-3. Seem to be running pretty easily though in this easy workout.
They're just 2-year-olds starting. You know, yeah. They're 2-year-olds starting. Bright Skittle, like I said, Bright Skittle ran okay today. Ran 3rd, and I kind of like Bright Skittle a little bit more. Putu Gook looks like a horse that might want to go a distance around. Still did it well. I mean, he's responding very well right there. It's a decent horse. We just, Arnold is not known to yank, really push him to do stuff. They got to the wire and he just he kind of geared them down, and they got a lot of it. He's going to send a horse with a good foundation, and that's what you want.
All right, so they're galloping out pretty easily. 17%, EquinEdge second pick. Looks like the 7-horse Saturday Flirt's going to be our play.
Wesley doesn't do as well on the turf as he does on the dirt. It's a different I'll tell you, I mean, right now I'm balancing between flip-flops and her holy name.
Yeah, the 4-horse was just ultra impressive.
A lot of speed, Cassie's already won. It's a stallion, and his top client. You got to pay attention to that one. He's 4-1. Her holy name is 10-1 on the morning line. But I think she'll go off around 4-1, 5-1.
Cassie won a race today, I'm pretty sure, here at Keeneland.
He did. He won with Into Diamonds.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, I think that the 7-horse Saturday Flirt, the 4-horse flip-flops, maybe you thought her holy name had a look. I had a note on that horse. The 6-horse, which we don't have a workout on, has a decent win percentage chance and isn't losing by much. Flip-flops is right there. The 5-horse, who, for me, it wasn't a very impressive work. That all being said, it did get 3 stars from Bruno. And the simulated race has this horse running a really good race. So to the finish.
The 5-horse didn't do it. Biv didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, no.
He didn't do anything wrong. I can't knock that.
All right, let's check to the second race over at Keeneland. The 5-horse Baytown Boo Boo is a silver horse to watch, which means it's the top pace, top SOR, EE long shot. And in this situation, these horses win 14% of the time with a negative 2% ROI and 40% in the money. So do it that what you wish. 8-1 on the EquinEdge morning line, and also the Scotty pick. It's a second-time starter. McEntee's 3% with first-time out horses and 4% with second-time out horses. But you did give this horse a decent grade here.
I think the horse is okay. I think that horse is okay. I think, it ran well for Scott. I liked it last time out. I thought it ran a decent race. I think he can improve. He's 15-1 on the line. It can't get any, if you win, at least you'll be doing well. You got to deal with the 2 Wesleys. That's what you got to deal with.
Right. Now, what do you make right now? Is he grabbing the horse? Why is the horse's head up like that? Is he trying to just teach the horse something?
Which one are you talking about? The outside, right?
No, on the inside. The Baytown Boo Boo was kind of lifting.
Run it back.
Right here. You see that?
He's trying to get out.
Trying to get out? Okay.
Yeah.
And is that something of a concern?
He's not cornering well. Okay.
Head's kind of this horse's head is kind of running up a little bit, It's
running out because he wants to go that way.
Got you. So
run it back again, and you can actually expand it, and you can see what I'm talking about. He's floating. He's floating off the inside. See how his body's changing? He's coming off the inside. Completely coming off the inside. He's not cornering well. To me, right there is a horse that I go, okay, I'm out.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, good stuff right there. Let's look at the 2-horse blistering. You had a 3-star work here on April 4th. First-time starter. Machado's aboard. Machado having a great meet. Let's take a look at this workout. Blistering.
All I did is on here is I just went by body language. It's blistering is on the rail. Started back to the beginning, and we only had the stretch run, but I liked the way the horse was going. Sackett was a good-looking horse that I saw, but blistering seemed to be going much easier. That's it. I just thought the horse was going easy.
I don't know. Like, you're the clocker, but the horse is the jock or the exercise rider is all out on this horse almost.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Right here.
His arms are not extending. His arms is absolutely not extending.
Right there. They're not extending. No, right there. That's extending.
Maybe a little bit to get to keep his head in front, but you're not all out. Right there, he asked him to go into the turn to actually pick it up, switch leads, and I like the way the horse did that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You're putting too much into oh, he's all out. No, you got to understand. You got to get him to get up inside that hole and not to be intimidated by the horse on the outside. That's one of the keys.
3% to win. Chuck the horse out. Okay. How about the 4-horse? Spun Lovin'. 6-5 on the EquinEdge morning line. First-time starter with a 38% win. Is this Wesley Ward? Of course it is. Where do you want to go, my man?
Well, here's the thing. Wesley's only run one of them. He's got 2.
Yeah.
So I think Spun Loving is not as good as Burning Pine. Burning Pine was facing Saturday Flirt. Burning Pine has been impressive to me in the morning. And he runs that one on the dirt, which is interesting. And he's running Saturday Flirt on the grass. So Burning Pine to me is the 1 horse, and Spun Loving is a second. Spun Loving hasn't showed me what Burning Pine. Go to Burning Pine's works. And you go to Burning Pine, then go to the March 29th drill.
Let's look at this. All right.
So, look, he opens up on an older horse named Moochie Girl.
Yeah.
Just opens up, shows a lot of speed, 35-2, and then, they gave it a 36-1. I got him galloping out in 48. But look at the rider. You want to look at the rider? Look at the rider in his hands. They're all the way back behind the withers. He's basically letting the horse do it on his own. He's got super long stirrups. He's got super long stirrups here. Okay?
Yeah.
The stirrups, I mean, you can go back and look at it. The stirrups there give him control. It's not going to be good for speed for him, and yet this horse showed speed.
So, okay, hold on. Let's hold on to that thought, because I don't understand a damn thing that you said other than the stirrups are long. And what's the reason for the long stirrups? And will that help or hurt the horse?
Control. More control.
So the exercise rider gets more control. So does that mean that the horse is kind of quirky?
No, it only means is that he didn't. The rider, he's probably a taller rider, and he's got to have longer stirrups. When you're a jockey like an Irad or Jose, your stirrups are much shorter, and you ride different. Well, here, this horse is just basically running off, just running away from the competition with speed. He's doing it all on his own. You look it up, and the rider is just sitting there, letting this horse just showing the speed. He's not encouraging. He's not doing anything. But he's got more control of the horse if it tried to do more than what he wants him to do. It's a very controlled drill.
Doesn't this horse kind of look to you more like a turf horse?
What are you looking at? What are you saying?
I just think this horse is a turf horse. It just, the way it runs kind of lower to the ground and just kind of like a Cadillac almost. I think this horse is going to be better than the turf.
Scotty, you want horses not to pick up their feet off the ground too far. That's wasted action.
You've said that. I got you. I hear you. All right, let's look at the
You're putting too much into it. You're putting way too much into it. That horse showed a lot of speed on the dirt, and it had a lot more, and it was under control. Now go to the next work.
Let's see here. Okay, let's go here.
Now you got it on April 5th. We showed this early with Dream Away, who's already won a maiden race. And you got Saturday Flirt on the outside and Burning Pine in between. Dream Away showed a lot of speed out of the gate. Burning Pine didn't break all that great. Then she picked it up and she comes flying in between horses. Being in between is very impressive to me because Wesley wanted to make a point to give her schooling to be between horses. She's got a good way of going. All three of them do. You know, and then he's going, okay, I haven't gone a half mile with this one yet. I'm going to make sure I grab a hold. I don't want to do much more. I don't want to blow her mind. So, but you could see the horse is very competitive with already a maiden winner and a horse that he entered back on the turf. That's the key. He entered Saturday Flirt on the turf. He did not enter Burning Pine on the turf. Burning Pine is going on the dirt. Sometimes we got to trust what the trainer's doing. So to go to the last work that I have.
Hold on. Let's look at the GSR Plus grid. It's clear turf on this horse and longer. I don't know. That doesn't mean the horse can't win the race, but it's clear turf and longer.
It's a better 2-year-old than it's a good 2-year-old. That horse can run.
This is a nice number, 100%. I don't know. I'm just saying the point I wanted to make to everybody is that, you know, this horse it looks like a very serious racehorse and very nice, but it might show its best on turf and longer. That's all I'm saying.
Not tomorrow. Not tomorrow.
Yeah, possibly. Not.
I mean, well, see, you can understand one thing. You have to understand. These horses are going 4.5. They're not going a mile and 16th. They're not going 6.5 furlongs. They're going 4.5. If they've got speed like that, they separate themselves. And if they are a turf horse, they'll show that later. They won't. You don't need to go all into this is turf. That horse is good. You know, that horse wins tomorrow. I think.
You think so? Burning Pine's on the inside.
Yeah, he was inside of Johnny Come Lately, who's also, I think he's entered at Churchill Downs. But Johnny Come Lately is not bad at all. They went an easy half mile in 49, got fitness out of it on a wet fast track. The two works that were key was the April 5th and the March 29th. Those when she showed who she was and how good she was. So
look, I'm going to show you. Let's show everybody something real quickly, okay? So you can see. First of all, this horse, even on dirt, wants longer. It's getting a 54 GSR, which just makes the horse average, just so you know. Now, none of these horses are really that great. I think this horse has the most upside of any of the horses in the race, hands down. Would agree with that. And it might just be so good and classy that it just smokes these anyways, and that is certainly a possibility. That being said, you want to follow this horse no matter what it does this time, because if it's going to run on dirt, you sort this GSR, it needs longer. Its best distance is 10.5, and its best surface, 100%, is turf right here. And it's got numbers in the mid-high 70s on the turf. So just saying, like, you have to analyze the race.
As an individual, that horse is better than anything in this field.
Probably. I would agree with you.
So let me put it this way. Can you do math? If not, I'm going to have to do it, and I'm horrible at it.
Okay,
all right.
Go ahead.
In this field, all right, we're going to take a look at. We've got a 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000.
Why don't you share with us what we're adding? I would love to. I want to get on the same page with you.
No, I'm on the past performances. I'm looking at what these horses caught at auction.
Oh,
so,
okay. So
Spirit Rags cost 25.
Okay.
Blitzing was a homebred.
Okay.
Sergeant Caps cost 6, so that's 31. We're not going to count the other Wesley Ward because he probably won't run. The 5 was a homebred. The 6 was a 2,000. We're up to 37,000. 37,000. Baytown Bullet is.
Listen, okay. One of our maths is really wrong right now. 33,000. Okay.
I'm doing it off the top of my head. So then you got Baytown Bullet with a 2K, and you got La Marinara at 1K. So that's probably less than $40,000.
Correct.
Okay. Burning Pine, they paid double for that, but it really tells you the story with the Keeneland 2-year-old races. The average for the 2-year-old races at Keeneland is probably around 5 to 6 to 7,000 per horse that is running in those races. You go to Saratoga, and the actual average is probably about 150 to 200,000.
For sure, no doubt.
So the level of competition here is if you're going to put it on a scale with 2-year-olds at Saratoga or Del Mar, you're talking those ones that are running there are plated in gold, and these guys are little runts. So when you got a horse that they bought some pedigree and it's 80,000, 100,000, they just end up beating these horses because they're better.
Right. Okay. Can you define runts?
A runt?
They're just what? They're
I was a runt family, but I was a better athlete. So you're asking for these horses to be $2,000-$3,000 purchases to be more athletic than an $80,000, $100,000, $300,000 horse, and that's not going to happen.
All right, are we done with this race?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm ready to move on. That was draining. Okay, let's run the simulated race here in race number 3. We only have a couple of horses that have videos. It looks like you took a race off, but I'm just saying. Here we go. All right, the 3-horse who we do who actually is the Scotty top pick is in front by about a length and a half. I can't wait to actually see your video on this horse and see if this horse can go gate to wire. But it looks like this horse is going to go gate to wire.
Which one?
The 3.
Yeah, New Rome. We had a good video. By the way, when you go through and look at, and say, well, you didn't have many works there.
I thought I could slip that by you.
No, but let me just, because a lot of people say that because they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
The 4-horse comes from Turfway. We don't have anybody there. The 5-horse comes from Fairgrounds, from Fair Hill. We might have had some works there. We had some works on the 6 under advisement. Saki was coming out from the all-weather track, the little track down below at Keeneland, that we don't really have a clocker there. The 8 comes from Churchill Trackside and Turfway. We don't have anything there. I had works on Excellent Question, and Echo Foxtrots comes from Skylight. I get this a lot. I get players going like, well, you only got 2 horses with works in that race. I said, yeah, did you look at where they come from? If one comes from FanDuel, track, and another one comes from Skylight, and another one comes from High Point Center, you actually expect me to have works from there? So a lot of the times, handicappers are just flat out lazy, and they are not looking at where that horse is working. And if you're not doing that, you will lose, because you will not have a real good, clear idea of where that horse is coming from. And I talk about this all the time. You got to know where they're coming from. Like, for example, the 12-horse, Scarletta. Anybody can tell me what TDD is?
Thistle Downs?
No. Close. Very good. You get a big merit badge for the good try. That's TDN. It's 3 Diamonds Farm. I believe it's in Ocala. So, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I think that's here in Kentucky. It's here in Kentucky. But you've got to, and I'm not saying you. As a general, you as a handicapper right there, you've got to figure out where are these horses coming from. And if you're looking at a workout report and saying, oh, he's only got 3 works in here, go look and see where they came from. That's all you got to do before saying that, because then you understand they're not here.
Well, Bruno, you just won the Triple Crown of commentary.
Is that good? Is that good?
It depends on who you're talking to.
I don't know. I just had caffeine. I might get DQ'd.
Well, shit. Listen, just promise me you'd never drink caffeine again before we do a show.
No, actually, I didn't. I cannot have caffeine. I can't have caffeine anyway.
No, I'm busting your chops, brother. Okay, let's look at the 3-horse New Rome. Let's look at it and let's watch it. Let's see your note.
2 weeks ago.
What's that?
We featured this horse 2 weeks ago because we had him in a company drill with Mr. Skylight and Beeline. Mr. Skylight came back to win, and we said, "Hey, take a look at this horse coming from behind." wheeling around the field and the way he worked. He worked really well. Yeah, this horse fits in here.
Okay.
He's a winner.
Let's watch this. Talk us through this thing. So New Rome is outside.
No, New Rome's coming up now.
Oh, so New Rome's in the back. I'm assuming they did that on purpose.
The other two went from the 5/8 pole. New Rome started at the half-mile pole. Okay, so what happens is that people will get real impressed and say, "Oh, look at him! He went. He's going to go right by." Well, these horses, the ones on the inside, are going longer. They've already were an eighth of a mile, a quarter of a mile before this horse got into the game. But look at the hold that New Rome has. Look at the rider's elbows or back. He won't let that horse go by. He doesn't want to really engage and do too much. It's a beautiful work. I love the way the horse rated and the way the horse finished. And then look at him. He goes past him, and then he says, "Okay, you can. I'll give you a head a little bit." So Mr. Skylight, the horse who was on the rail, came back to win off of that.
Okay, that's good to know. So New Rome wins the race just barely over on the simulated race over a horse that you might want to consider Miss Astor, who never seems to get there, has burned a lot of money. I have a note on this horse. Terrible ride. It was a terrible ride. Who was aboard the horse? By Mike Smith over at Santa Anita. Here at Keeneland, Johnny Velasquez jumps aboard. And you might want to take a look at Miss Astor, who seems to be doing well. And then the other one you've got a video on is
let me bring something up on Mrs. Astor. Mrs. Astor is a horse that from the Jonathan Thomas barn that really doesn't get involved early,
right?
And comes running late and needs some help somehow. Also, look how many different jocks it's been on. And do we actually have only one rider who's ridden this horse twice? That's Johnny Velasquez. I hate when you get a horse that in 10 starts, he's had a different rider every single time.
I'm with you. It's actually a factor for me as well. I'll always look at that. It seems like the 2 and the 3 are pretty dominant when it comes to the simulated race. The 7, Saki's not bad. That horse seems to be right there. And then the 5 horses right there. The 9. It looks like a tough race on paper. And speaking of the 9, excellent question. You've got, this was back on April 8th. It's now, this horse has got a couple of 1-star works in the last couple of works, Bruno, but on April 8th,
don't look at those. I just don't have anything on them.
Okay. All right, let's take a look at this workout here.
This is the kind of horse, this horse to me puts his best foot forward in the morning. I don't think this horse is as good as the works that he does.
This horse seems to be traveling nicely, right? Am I looking at that correctly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just remember what I just said, though. This horse has done this before.
Yeah.
He travels well, does everything well. It's just, he's like that, that second or third round draft pick in the NFL that just, you hope they get better, but they don't. He moves well. I just, again, look at all the different riders that have been on board. Look at, they put on dirt, turf, going long. They really don't know what to do with this horse.
Yeah,
right,
that seemed like a nice workout there. I mean, looks like this horse can do dirt or turf, but when you look at excellent question, 72,000 earned in 4 tries on the turf, 63,000 earned in 6 tries on the dirt. It looks like that type of horse. Brendan Walsh is 16.
No style.
Yeah.
Let me bring up something about this race. The first thing I do when I actually pull up the PP is I take a look at the conditions. Fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won a race other than maiden, claiming, or starter, which have never won 2 races. Right. The key to it is fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, number 1. Number 2, never won a race other than maiden, claiming, or starter, which have never won 2 races. So you've got a 4-year-old or older that has never won 2 races or has never won anything other than a maiden, claiming, or starter. Okay? Melania, 1 for 8. Mrs. Astor, 1 for 9. New Rome, 5 for 10. 4, right now, 1 for 11. Palota Sister, 1 for 6. Under Advisement, 1 for 6. Saki, 1 for 18. Esme, 1 for 11. Question, 1 for 11. Echo Foxtrot, 2 out of 7 for Connor Murphy. Super Stormy, 1 out of 7, and Scarletta is not going to get in. So, who is the real runner in there?
Well, it's
New
gotta be New
Rome.
Rome. Yeah,
5-time winner against a bunch of non-winners, 2 lifetime?
a great point.
Sign me up with a horse in that kind of field, any way, shape, or form, with the kind of speed that horse has.
Yeah.
I'll die on a vine for a horse like that, because I put zero credibility in any of these one for lifetime horses.
So yeah, and the 2 horse likes to get second. So a lot of times when you kind of identify a horse you like a lot, you want to definitely look at the main competition and look to see if they're a winner. And this horse just does not seem to want to get there. Has the talent, second off the layoff. I would imagine you're going to see a much improved effort. Hey, Jeff is asking you a question here. Do workouts matter much for older seasoned horses, in your opinion? I would answer that no. How would you answer that?
You're putting a blanket over it. Depends on the situation. Are they coming off a layoff, or are they just keeping maintenance between starts?
Are they going races? What if the horse is fit and we're like racing? I mean, do you think
that's why I keep telling you? This is why I keep telling you, Scott. Sometimes the 2 stars, you just got to look at them as maintenance, because there isn't anything there. There isn't anything to sink your teeth in. It's not a work that is set down. Unless I tell you I don't like the work, you treat it as maintenance. Because it's not. There isn't a model in the world when you're looking at workouts to say I love that, I hate that. That's not the way it works. That's not how we do that. And by the way, I haven't told everybody yet, and I haven't even told you, Scott, but one of these days, we're going to do a video where you're going to come clock with me, and I'm going to have you clocking horses. And I don't want to hear, and I want to hear out of my own ear, I like that, or I don't like that, or that's maintenance. We're going to put that out for everybody. Put
that to test. That's actually a challenge that I accept.
But you got to bring your own stopwatch, and you're bringing the coffee.
Okay, that's a deal. Do you like cream and sugar?
No, give it to me black.
Black.
Okay. Yeah, I need, at that time in the morning, I need to be awake. And I need to have energy, because I can dish it out.
That's true. Okay, you know what? That's okay. So we'll do a show where I've done all the clocking. Yeah, that'll get about 2 views. Hey, how about?
No, that'll get a lot of views, because I've been saying, no, Scott, that's not what we're here to look at horses. It'll be fun though, because you know what? You might teach me something.
I highly doubt that. Well, not as it pertains to clocking horses. Okay, David asked a question, Bruno.
I'm reading it right now. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
David, when you look at a horse and any race, so you say he races on 325. Ballpark figure between 15 to 17 days before next start. So that horse would have probably gotten to work around the 15th or 16th, or races. It says a horse works on 325, races on 4/1. If you take into an account that horse will come back to work on the 16th or 17th day after, you're looking about the 4/18th, the 4/20th. So 425, maybe track conditions. I don't put too much into that. But again, you got to remember, just because it doesn't have a published work, it doesn't mean it's not out of the track. Especially if they go at 3/8, so they might have come down the lane. That kind of thing. And if you got a claimant horse, on the claimant horses, less is more. It's like with Hollywood, and they tell you on camera, less is more. You don't want to do much with $10,000 claimers, $15,000, $20,000 claimers in between races. You throw their races. You basically sharpen them up as much as you can. You jog them. You maybe give them a gallop. maybe even a little run down the lane. That's it. You don't need anything else. Anybody looking for workouts at 10,000 cheap claiming races actually needs their head examined, because that's not something that I would ever sign up for, and I would ever tell people, hey, that $10,000 claimer is training great, because that horse is not going to be on my ticket.
Okay,
he's a
recap
He's a $10,000 claimer for a reason, you know?
Okay. New Rome, possible single, 8-5 EquinEdge morning line, top pace number, very good GSR. In fact, the second top GSR, which is our breeding metric. It has a fine SOR, which is our class number. It's also a horse to watch. Top pace, top win percentage, top EE pick, and the lowest of the EE morning line. So it looks like that's a possibility that the 3-horse is going to go gate to wire. So strong look there. Okay, race number 4. We've got 4 of them to cover here. Let's run the simulated race. Boom. So far, Bruno, the 5-horse, Barbara T, is looking good. The 2-horse, Barb Tourage. But there goes the 5. I mean, the simulator shows the 5-horse going gate to wire. But let's take a look first at Corey Felice. This is a horse that's 20-1 on the EquinEdge morning line.
You know what that means?
Huh?
Corey Felice. Corey Felice.
No.
Run happy.
What does it mean?
Run happy.
Run happy. That's the sire.
Named after the sire in Italian.
Yep. So you've got a horse here with no notes, but a 3-star in a video. Why is there no notes on a horse like that?
Where?
On this one horse, Corey Felice.
What's the date on it?
It's March 26th.
Because it's more than 30 days.
All right, let's take a look at the work. Inside, with the blue cap. I mean, these.
You're really wasting your time on this horse. I mean, right? I mean, no, that's being shoved on.
Absolutely. Okay. All right, we'll just leave it at that.
Now, here's what it's going to get fun. Read my comments on the 2.
So the 2-horse, after this drill, this one has had 2 very disappointing works in 106, 106, and 4. Don't know what's going on here. And this horse is 6-5. Holy hell. 6-5 on the EquinEdge morning line, 3-1 on the odds makers morning line.
He worked him back to back in 3 days. He gave him a 106 and 4, and then he came back to work him again and went 106.
Wow.
So what's going on here? I don't know. Blinkers off, LASIK's on. I'm not getting anywhere near this horse at any price.
All right,
That's why I say you got to read the workout report. You can't just look at ratings. You know.
Let's do this. Let's real quickly, just because I think this is a big deal, because this horse is going to be your favorite, and this is the way we all make money, is beating a big favorite. So what I would like to do is just look at the March 20th. I don't want to go back to the 15th. There's too many, but let's go to the 22nd, the 28th, and then revisit April 4th again, to see if there's a difference in this horse, and maybe this horse is regressing. But let's take a look at this first. This is March 22nd. So tell me if you can see anything that's different about this horse.
How about the April 12th, 105? And I mean, I'm not going to go back to the other days, because those days the horse might have been just fine.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, after the 20th at Keeneland, he ends up working 106 and change. Then he comes back again and 106 and change. No.
Are they? I mean, this horse should be able to do that easily, and the fact that it's not.
Same old fears ran today, and he ran awful.
Okay.
He's on the run. He ran awful today. I liked him today. He didn't run a step.
Now, why did you like him? Because you can see this workout. That horse doesn't look all that great in this workout as well.
Actually, he ended up doing okay. He had some works that I thought he would improve. But look at Barb Tourage. No finish. Pass. No. I don't care whose name on it. I don't care who's riding it. If I don't like what I see, I pass.
Okay, the same two on March 28th. They seem to go a little bit better. 102, but still pretty slow.
You're looking at time. Stop looking at time.
No, that's true. That's a good point. You're right.
Stop looking at time. We've learned that times don't mean anything because they're put together by humans.
So what do you make of this work?
Barb Tourage is not going nowhere. The other horse is on the wrong lead. He switches leads there, and then he's got him on a hold to finish together. I thought the better horse was Same Old Fears.
So this is an opportunity then to maybe.
Well, let's move on to, before you do any opportunities. Let's move over and take a look at Pontresina.
All right, Pontresina, you 4-star work on Pontresina. Okay. So this is what it says. Nice work, dragging rider in 23 and 3, 50 flat, very sharp. And solo work.
People look at the 50. People look at the 50 and say, it's a slow work. You watch this work and you don't tell me if this is not a top-notch work.
That horse is gliding over the track. I'm with you. I mean, gliding. The exercise rider standing on this horse.
When a rider looks like a bobblehead, that means that horse is dragging him. Look at the difference between this horse and Barb Tourage. Beautiful action. It's got his head down. His ears are forward. The rider has got his feet in the stirrups. Look how his feet in the stirrups. He's got it kind of pointing forward, doesn't he? Because he's basically holding the horse back. Very easy, beautiful mover. Did everything well. I just think that, I mean, he did everything right. He looks like he handles dirt. I mean, he's probably got to.
Wow, these GSRs are absolutely horrific.
But
on this horse,
turf horses do well at Keeneland on the dirt.
Yeah. Wow.
Keeneland still runs like that old synthetic because there's no banking on the turns. So it really plays like a turf course on the dirt. So I'm not afraid of playing a turf course on that.
Well, Irad jumps aboard. That was the best workout I've ever seen from a horse that's got a GSR of 29.
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful work.
It almost feels wrong. I don't even know what to say. That was amazing. Your GSRs should vary from track to track. There's like at Belmont, turf horses, they're not handle the Belmont main track. So your GSRs would have to have some kind of difference between the Belmont and the Keeneland. The way this horse was traveling, this horse did everything right. Yeah, no doubt about it.
And look at the race at Santa Anita at 6 furlongs. He was right there a length behind, going 57 and 2, and it was first time Dutro. Now he brings it back here, puts it on the dirt at 6 furlongs. It tells you a lot where the horse is being placed.
Yeah, our GSR is one of our best algorithms. Very, very few times I'm stumped by a number after watching that workout and then seeing a 29 on this horse. I mean, you can obviously you can always have your flukes, but I'm gonna look closer into that. But after that workout, it might be somebody you have to look at. But The 7 horse. Let's move on.
Let me just right here. Jump to the 10. Just go right to the 10.
Okay.
Because I only have about another half an hour. So, and I'm trying to hit on the horses that I have good stuff on.
Okay.
So let's go to the 14th of April. The gate work.
We're on it.
All right. Tres Solis, the chestnut behind, when they gave him a minute 2 out of this one. And they gave the gray in front a 101-1. So the chestnut got 4/5 of a second better time. Tell me where that happens. And this is extremely common. Satin Blue got the worst time, the 101-1.
Right.
Read what I wrote. Read what I wrote.
Satin Blue from the gate. Satin Blue, the gray, much best in 1 minute and 3/5 seconds, and 4 clear after 5 furlongs. But Souls got the best time while being soundly beaten. That's really great information, Bruno. Actually,
the clockers flip the 2. Now, I'm not going to go into why they did it. It could be a mistake. I noticed some clocking groups make that mistake a lot. And sometimes it's just a mistake, and sometimes it's not. But Satin Blue was the gray. The chestnut was the chestnut. You saw it for yourself. I'm not making it up, you know. And if you show it again, the gray's in front, the chestnut is behind. The chestnut got the better time.
All right, the 7 horse Tirapati is a horse you gave a 4-star to as well. Also a solo drill here. Talk us through this 50-2.
I love the 50-2 work. You know, here's the thing though. You got to keep an eye on what's happening. Jonathan Thomas has had about 3 horses I really liked in the morning, and they haven't fired. So they've run well, but not well enough. So you know, he's a $230,000 Matoli. First time starter, gets Jose. The 50 is nice. I mean, look at how easy this horse does things.
Yeah.
But again, here you have a situation that Thomas is not lit with the other 2-3 horses I liked. They didn't run well. So is it because his horses look so good? But this horse did it so easy and did it so well here that you know he's got talent. Now, you know what? This horse doesn't run all that great. Watch him next time out. That's one other thing with a 4-star works. You got to look at him and say, hey, you know what? This horse had a 4-star work. This horse had a 4-star work before the last race. Now maybe this is the race that they're really going to push for.
Who do you think you're going to make your top pick?
It's between Satin Blue and Pontresina.
Okay.
And you also notice Wesley has not fired the last couple of days. He has not been running off the screen like he was earlier.
Right.
So, you know, we'll see. We'll see if Bob Taraj makes it to the starting gate.
Okay, let's get to race number 5. Let's run the simulator based on the fastest horses in the race. Here we go.
I can tell you right now, Scott, that I don't have anything in this race. So you go ahead and take it away. I'm just a fan watching you go. I'm a Scotty fan with pom-poms.
Sounds good. Okay. So we'll run through this. I mean, these horses are almost vertical right now. Like, that's going into the second call. Third call, the 8's kind of pulling away. The GSR, you can see the green arrow, is also pointing up. It's got a decent win percentage in what appears to be a really tough race. And if the jockey stays patient on the horse with that outside post, you could see a really good effort by the 8. The Swiss Song is another one, but you've got, let's see what your report says on this horse. It's a 2-star on the 1. Native Land started behind Swiss Slang and finished best in 24 and 41 and 1.
You got to read the comment. You know, don't put so much stock into the rating until you read the comment. I'm telling you that they did it okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't great, wasn't bad. They did it okay. And if you watch it, you can see that.
We'll take your word for that one. So this one here, second off the layoff for Ian Wilkes. Hernandez jumps aboard, and Wilkes is 12% first race back and second race back 5%. So we might be looking at a really tough race. What's interesting here, and then we'll go on to the next. But what's interesting about the 6-horse is it's a price play, which is a long shot algorithm. It's a horse to watch, and it's 20% to win.
That's a good barn.
Right, and it's also the Scotty second pick. So I would not leave out Little Tough Nut. I have a note here. Had a very rough trip, nice horse. And then it came off the layoff and broke 11th, and then started narrowing the gap, like really finishing. This horse might have some more substance, and I like the jockey switch to Flavian Pratt. So
going down and see the Fairgrounds works that I had. I had a couple of Fairgrounds works on this horse. This horse trained okay down there. You know, and I'll have those. And I kind of, you and I argued about this a little bit. You know, I had a good friendly discussion. By the way, this horse looks like a turf horse the way he's moving. He's bobbling. Go back at the beginning. I'm going to show you something. Go back a little bit more. Go all the way to the start. Watch this horse take a bobble. Right there?
Yeah.
Right there? The ground is breaking out from underneath them, and they're doing this with their heads. That's a sign that they need firm ground.
Let's see.
He's not getting a hold of it at all.
That again? What's happening here?
Right. You know when you go to the beach, I know you love the beach. You live in Florida too, okay? When you go to the beach and it's the real dry white sand, what happens when you're walking on it? It breaks out from underneath you and you're constantly bobbling over it until you get to where the sand there's water on it, and then you walk on it perfectly. That's the same thing with this horse. If you go back again, you watch, look how chewed up that track is. He's not getting a hold of the track. He's just swimming over it because it breaks out underneath him and he doesn't get a hold of it. That's where you know it's a turf horse and not a dirt horse.
Well, look at that track, though. Could it have anything to do that that track looks like
that? All chewed up and loose, and he's grabbing it and doing this and doing this. That's why you don't work horses on tracks like that. You know?
So
you work...
And we don't really care about. Clearly, this is a turf horse, and we can see this in the numbers as well. And that was a dirt workout, so it was a pretty impressive dirt workout considering. And it was 2 of 27 here in the April 20th work. But to your point, well taken. And
it's a much more firmer track here. Okay,
well,
in Fairgrounds, you've got the wind, you've got the sun, you've got a lot of different things that happen. But again, it's when you read the comment, you read, this horse is a decent. Look at it. Look, Tiff Little Nut and Thomas Aquinas. Look at them both. Their turf form is fine. It's actually pretty good.
So, did you say we have the wind and the sun?
No, I mean when you go in at Fairgrounds, you have the wind coming off. It's got more moisture in the air, and sometimes you get hot in the afternoon, and that track becomes like a beach when it doesn't have any water. Water makes the track is a track equalizer. Water is what makes that track easy to handle. No water, it becomes a beach. Life's a beach when you have that.
So
some don't handle it.
Okay, so we shouldn't really be taking. We have to consider the 8-horse here. Second off the layoff.
Look at the starts on the turf.
Yeah,
look at the 2 starts on the turf.
That's actually a really good point. If you look at this, you guys. Okay, I'm really glad you made that point. So if you look at the race 2 back on October 12th, you see a 67 GSR, and then look what happens. The horse clearly needed the race. First of all, the horse broke its maiden, okay, on the turf. Now it's, first of all, horses that they break their maidens come back to beat winners only 5% of the time. This horse goes from a 50 SOR to a 64 SOR, was only 4% chance of winning, had a 47 GSR, which means from the time the horse broke his maiden, that was a 67 GSR, and then it was a 47. The horse still only lost by 4.5 lengths. There was 8 other horses. Horse is now the top, Scotty pick, and it's got a 68 GSR, so it's jumping up 21 points in GSR. This horse is going to run a big race tomorrow. I
just draw a line through the March 9th race. I draw a line through the first two races over lifetime. You know, and I look at the 2 Keeneland races and Kentucky Downs races. This horse is the right horse in here. He's the right horse in here, and he's going to be 5-2.
Yeah. All right. So, and the 6 horse looks pretty good as well. And ironically, the top 2 win percentages in the race, I mean, they're lukewarm. But the 10 horse Nomos as well is maybe a horse. I didn't personally love this horse that much because I feel like it should have run a little bit better last time out, and it didn't. So that disappointed me. So this horse is switching back and forth from dirt to turf. So I don't like that kind of thing. It tells me that they're struggling with this horse and trying to figure it out. So I do like the EquinEdge picks. I think the 8 and 6 are the Scotty picks. Okay. What's up, Coach Williams? That's true, Mike. That's true. We need some Bruno quotes. Okay. Race number 6.
Oh, I haven't even started yet, Mike.
Oh, shit. It's only one show, Bruno. Save some of your material, okay?
Hey, I haven't brought out my Billy Joel line yet.
Oh, that you have a Billy Joel line?
Yes, I do. We run in a dangerous crowd. We ain't too pretty and we ain't too proud.
We run in a dangerous crowd?
Yeah, it's from Only the Good Die Young.
Oh, okay.
Don't make me sing. Only Todd Schrupp can sing on the air.
I actually have been known to sing on air a few times myself. I've got good country songs. My higher register is not so bueno.
Why do I even open my mouth?
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah,
we find something about Scott, Mr. Karaoke. Hey, you know what? It's another thing we can do. One night we get together and we go do something. We'll go karaoke him.
Okay, so we will make it a day. We'll make it a morning, an all-day event where we're
and then we're gonna go karaoke.
We're clocking some horses, and then we're doing some karaoke. I'm going to start breaking
out the show. I already got my song picked out.
Okay, what song is that?
Bon Jovi, Wanted Dead or Alive.
I knew you were going to say it. I wish I would have said it first and called my shot. You're too predictable. Everybody does Bon Jovi karaoke. Come on.
Oh, really? Okay, I'll do Legendary then. Their new song.
Okay.
Anyway, let's go look at the 3 horse.
Okay, the 3 horse. Where? At Keeneland 7?
Yeah, Keeneland 6th.
The 6th. We're on this race 6? Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Baltasar.
Yeah, you even bring up by doing karaoke and doing the B-52s, Love Shack, and I'll disown you.
Okay, no. So what's this? Why are we looking at this horse? Why are you wasting 5 minutes of my time?
Really? Okay. Let's look at this horse. He's coming off a layoff. For a barn, he's going to be big price. Last time out, he ran for $50,000. He was 4-1 at Saratoga, and it was claimed but was voided. Okay?
Okay.
So what did they do? They gave him time. They got him over whatever he had. They don't bring him back for a tag. Now let's go take a look at the workouts.
Okay. Let's see here.
See, here's a great point. I'm glad you brought it up the way you did, because horse players look at a past performance and they throw the horse out immediately. Go look at this horse's work. Start back probably like at the end of March.
Okay, let's see. Solo drill. March
This
29th.
is what's the day on it? What date?
March 29th.
Okay. He goes 101 here. Very easy work. I'm laying a foundation for you guys here. Okay? Very easy work in hand. Because we need to get this horse off the layoff.
Not very smooth running. Hits the ground
He's coming off the layoff. He's doing it easy. The rider's just letting him have him, doing it on his own. You know, now he's going to shake up the reins a little bit, and he picks it up, and now he's going to go out. He's a month away from running, so you got to give him a break. But look how he finishes out here. He finishes. He handled him gingerly, and then he let him finish out.
Fair
okay?
enough.
He gallops out a long way. So now let's go over to the April 5th work. We're going to lay a foundation here. We're not going to be judgmental at all about this. So this is the what?
I'm already judging.
Yeah, you can't do that. You just failed. Okay? You get a big 0. So this is the 15th. He goes 48.
I have to admit, he looks much better in this drill than he did in that first one.
Well, you would expect that. You know, he's coming off a layoff, Scott. You got to give that horse a chance to get his feet under him.
Yeah.
So here he goes 23-4, 48-2, a minute 2, and goes out 14 flat. Much better work than before. He's getting
his head's
fitter.
Not really down. He doesn't look comfortable. His head's up. Like
Let him be who he is. Let him be who he is. Stop making every horse try to look like Secretariat. Let him be who he is. The way he did it, and he covered the ground. And look right now, when he gets into the turn here, look at him the way he takes off.
Hey, listen, can I tell you something? The next horse I buy or I own, that's going to be the name. Let him be who he is.
Let him be who he is. Here he goes out a long way. He's getting this horse fit. So now we're going to go. He brings him back in 5 days to work.
I don't know if there's enough. I think there's enough characters. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Scott, focus.
5.
Focus. So focus. Let's go. Let's go to.
I'm really digging on that name. All right, so you've gone from the first work.
Now we're going to go to the 20th. Now we're going to go to the 20th.
I don't know. It's just not very impressive to me.
You're being very judgmental.
I am.
So here he goes. Now, you know, he's going to improve again because he's getting fitter. He's getting smoother. So here again, the time doesn't tell you anything. But here's what I had. I had 24-1, 49-1, 101-1 out in 15-3. What I liked is what he did after the wire. Here again is the horse that's not being asked to do it early. But then as he's coming, look, the rider's got a taut rein. He's not asking him to go. Now look as that head starts to come down. His hands are back by the withers.
His hands are...
Now he's going to do the same thing again. The withers is down by the back base of the neck. Now look at this horse. He does it again. He takes off through the turn.
I'm giving that horse a 2-star work. I'm going to start my own clocking company.
He'll be out of business next week. So, all right. So what I did is I looked at it. This horse is coming around. This horse is getting fit. He has not been set down. So I said, all right, let me take a look at who is he? What has he done? So you go back, and, you know, the horse basically broke its maiden at Belmont in a straight maiden at Belmont off the claim from Atras by Horacio de Paz. Then it ran second in a starter allowance, and then he won again later on off the layoff. He won again at Belmont, you know, in a starter by 1.5 showing speed. This is a speed horse. So the only knock on his own thing is that the $50,000 beaten claimer and voided claim, they gave him the time, they got him better. And, you know, look at Manny Franco. Look how many times Manny Franco rode this horse. You think he would have ridden a dud?
Manny Franco's a 12% jockey.
Scotty with the stats.
Listen. This has a ring to it.
But I'm telling you, this horse is a big price. This horse fits in, you know, could fit in this race. He's from a nobody, no name with a rider that doesn't ride here very often. This is a kind of the logical selection. You know, he's a horse that's
logical selection. It's 3%.
I'm being funny. Barry Meadow and I used to sit in the press box, and we used to do the logical selection on 75-1 shots in the race, right? You know, I mean, it was the funniest thing you ever come across because Barry Meadow was a great comedian. But here's a horse that I think has got a shot. I mean, who are you going to like in here? Okay, let's just go through this. You got One Giant Leap who's got very, he's got some decent form for Wesley. You got Mulligan, who's actually pretty good and probably one of the worst to beat. You got Baltazar. You got this Miracle Worker. Let's go ahead and run let's look at the race and see what it says.
Okay, let's run it. Hold on. What do you think of this? It's kind of got a touch to it. Scotty with the works, or racing with Scotty.
Don't bet with Scotty.
What? Okay, let's answer. Go ahead, and if you don't mind, and answer Justin's questions here, and then I'm going to run the race while you're doing that.
Justin, I don't look at that stuff. I don't look at what anybody else rides. Let them do whatever they want to do. I could care less. I do my own thing. I don't need you to tell me anything.
That answers that.
Well, I mean, it's just, I can't be looking at other people's stuff and have my own opinion. You can't.
No.
You flat out can't.
No. So the simulator race, it's wide open. You can see Tivy, the 5-horse, is going from a 58 GSR to a 71. The problem here, I have mixed feelings with a horse like this. One, it certainly needs to be forwardly placed. Two, it's moving up in class. But I think that speaks to the competitiveness of this race. You could see a price horse. The 1-horse, One Giant Leap, Bruno. This horse is rated a little bit. It's got decent form. It's 2-1 on the odds makers morning line. If we look at the beginning first call, it looks like the 2's equally as fast, and the 2-horse seems to need the lead for its best. Although it did come from behind here, I do think this is just a wide open race. Do you have an opinion in this race?
For me, my long shot is the 3, but I'm also going to use Mulligan probably. Like I said, I haven't finalized it yet. I did see that the Chicago Bears, shocker, selected Caleb Williams as their first-round draft pick.
Nice.
Yeah. Like that, we didn't see that coming. And that was 1-9. That was 1-20.
By the way, the 4-horse just broke its maiden. It's 15%. I will say this about the 4. Gary and Mary West own this horse, and it's got some really good numbers. Bruno, I don't know if you know much about this horse. I don't, but these are some pretty nice GSR numbers. Anything you can tell us on this Miracle Worker at all?
He's probably going to be a lot shorter than the 6-1. Anytime you got a 4-year-old into Mischief that's got 3 starts, you kind of have to wonder what's going on. He had 2 starts. Then and he was favored in both of them as a 3-year-old. Did not run for another year, and now he comes back and he wins by a nose all out. I would have to say, most of those horses go backwards. I've had 4-year-old maidens or 4-year-old horses that broke their maiden, and they're not getting any better. They're going to go backwards, and it's a race that I think I'm going to find some. He'll probably be on my sheet, but he won't be first, second, or third.
Really, really good point. This 4-horse just looks too good for me. I have a feeling this 4-horse is going to find a way to win the race. So, I think
one more thing.
Yeah.
You cannot look at maiden races for the 2-year-old maiden races to early 3-year-old maiden races and compare them on the same level with 4-year-old and up maiden races. The 4-year-old and up maiden races are with horses that couldn't get to the races, had their issues. They've had a lot of things set back, or they flat out cannot run in that category. So if you're going to have pars, the pars for the 4-year-olds and up maiden races should be much lower than the 3-year-olds, early 3-year-old maiden races for that level.
Yeah, I'm going to have to run that tape back. Okay, let's go on to race number 7. Let's run this thing. You've got many first-time starters. I
didn't go to any first-time starter in here. I went with a horse that's already raced 4 times.
Okay, well, hold that thought here. Let's run this. Bruno, would you say, like in races like this, where maiden races where you have these first-time starters and stuff, that horses that can get the lead or be within a couple of lengths of the stretch are the ones that usually win these races at a high percentage of the time? Again,
as I said earlier, what kind of race? 4-year-olds and up maidens with a bunch of broken, busted up horses, early 3-year-olds that are looking to do bigger and better things on the stretch out, or are we talking about 2-year-old races with speed?
Well, in this race, we've got 3-year-olds. How about 3-year-olds?
I'm just looking at talent. You know,
Okay.
what horses show me the talent they have, and I'm surprised on your run that Trouble's Roaring off the synthetic race gets the best nod. Am I right?
It's not a horse I would like personally. I'm with you, but I'm not as smart as machine learning algorithm either. But
what's wrong? What's wrong with Stinger B?
With which one?
Stinger B.
Nothing seems wrong to me. The only thing I would say is that field over at Fairgrounds seems to be a pretty weak field. It's facing tougher here for sure. The win percentage drops. The GSR
wait a minute. Back the truck up. You're going to tell me this horse ran on dirt in a maiden race at Fairgrounds and knocked that, but you're going to look at you and say the Turfway Park maiden was better, who's run 3 straight times second?
Wait, who said what? Wait, whoa.
You're
Wait, what are you saying?
Trouble's roaring.
I'm saying on the dirt, 6 furlongs at Fairgrounds. That was a 44 group of SOR on our strength of race. Now it's facing a 50. It was 25% to win, so it was supposed to do well. Now it's a 5% win. It's the same GSR. So the way you're supposed to look at this is this horse is going to run a worse race than what it did last time. This is a much better field.
Tomorrow. He's going to win tomorrow.
I'm not going to be surprised. There's a lot of first-time starters, but I'm not going to be surprised.
First-time starters? Stop looking at that. This horse showed a lot of talent last time out. You got to throw out the Ben Colebrook races. Throw those out. Not that Ben's not a bad horseman. He wasn't doing a whole lot with this horse. This horse goes to Ignacio Correas. I loved him that day. He runs a huge race and gets beat by a lane by a horse that's actually a pretty good talented horse for Dallas Stewart. So you can't just throw this horse out.
You think this horse is going to win tomorrow?
I think he's going to win tomorrow, yes.
I think he's got a shot. I definitely would not say he can't win. I wouldn't say that. I will say this. 100% certainty that this race is tougher than that race.
Let's go and look at the workouts. Let's go look at the workouts.
Yeah, let's do that. You got a 4-star here on April 13th. Let's look at this. Solo drill for Stinger B. Moves nicely, very nicely across the track. That view there at Keeneland is just amazing. So talk us through this as this horse makes the turn.
Oh, I will. Hold on.
It's very impressive, actually.
Thank you.
Heads
I was
down.
sitting around here licking my nuts.
He's really, he's being asked a little bit here, to be fair.
He just wants him to go on. Stop with this asking stuff. You don't understand. When you start asking horse is when a guy's going like this. That's asking. All he's doing is just keeping them focused on going on and not idling. A lot of times it's like your dog. It's like when you walk your dog and your dog wants to wander off, you're like, come on, let's go. You're grabbing the leash and going, let's go. All right, come on, let's go. It's just keeping that horse mental frame and focus on what he's doing. He went 11-3, 22-2, 47-1, and gear down in a minute 1.
Wow.
Does he look like when he's doing this that he's going 22-2, 47-1?
No, he didn't. That's true.
Watch him. Now he's starting to goof around here. He's starting to maybe idle a little bit, kind of saying, okay, I'm done here. And the rider says, hey, no, come on, let's go. Pick it up. No, don't be sitting there.
That's exactly what, and then took off nicely right here. But I made my point right here. It's the horse was being asked a little bit, but
that's why you don't make your point until they're done. That's why you don't get judgmental until they're done. Till you put all the pieces together.
it looks like that horse has some serious potential as well. Yeah.
I mean, he went 22-1 the first quarter.
Yeah.
See, you don't know that. See, that's why that's why I pick on you a little bit, because a lot of handicappers are the same way, because they automatically make an opinion immediately instead of going, well, wait a minute, this horse went 11-3, 22-1 the first quarter, and he's idling down the lane, and the rider's got to remind him, go, hey, what are you doing? Goofing around? Let's go. He is that kind of horse that kind of goofs around and maybe doesn't try a whole lot.
Okay, so let's look at the 2 horse here, World Record, who's inside of Mulligan, because this horse is our top pick. It's got our top win percentage. And tell me what your thoughts are on this workout.
I mean, I think the horse is okay, and Windstar is excellent. With first-time starters. I mean, he's a player. Yeah. I love Stinger B. I've been waiting for Stinger B to come back. I thought he got beat by a good horse and a good, coming down from Keeneland to Fairgrounds to run. I think tomorrow is his day.
Yeah.
I thought World Record is trained well.
This is a very nice looking horse.
Now, see how they're shaking him up to finish?
Yeah.
They just shook him up to finish. That's not asking him. But now he's asking on the inside to go, and Mulligan is a much better horse. Mulligan is an allowance horse.
Okay. Yeah, you could kind of see that.
More fast to wire.
Yep.
I also want to say one thing about World Record. Here's a $400,000 gun runner, 3-year-old, that did not make it as a 2-year-old. So he was training up to be a 2-year-old back in October. He probably bucked shins, and the pattern says that they've finally gotten him to the races. It's another kind of one of those horses that you kind of wonder a little bit why it's taken him so long to get here. It's good connections. I think this horse is a very playable horse.
All right, let's see if there's another horse we can look at. 6 is right there in the stretch. 2-horse World Record.
9 to 4 favorites. Go take a look at Alcove.
Okay, Alcove.
This is where a morning line maker has absolutely no clue what he's talking about, or he has no idea about anybody's training. Go look at the April 13th work.
This is it.
Alcove is on the outside of Pure Force.
Okay.
They went pretty quick early. And this is where the time doesn't maybe look at the actual scope of the work. They both good to wire together. They probably went about 47. But now the real running becomes. And Alcove is completely outrun by Pure Force into the turn.
Do we know how good Pure Force is?
He's let me see, who is he? I think he's over at Churchill now with Brad, so he thinks something of him, because he's going to run him over there and not run this one over, and run this one here. Pure Force is a Constitution colt owned by Juddmonte out of a Medalla d'Oro mare. He's a homebred for Juddmonte, and he worked 101 on 421 breezing over at Churchill Downs since that work. So Pure Force is pretty decent.
All right, let's go to race number 8. Let's run this race. I'm going to sort with the fastest horses on top. Here we go.
This is an easy race for me.
Really? Good. We could use an easy race from you.
While you're running that, I want everybody to take Warlike Goddess and draw a line through anything that is not 1.5 miles.
Okay, so it says 6185, and okay, so
Draw a line through all the races on your form that are less than a mile and a half.
okay, so you take the June 9th race out of there.
And you take
take
the third race out of there.
yep.
This horse has only lost 4 times, twice lost by a neck. Both of those times, actually, no, one time he lost by a neck in a horrible ride, in a horrible trip with no pace in the Glen Falls. Throw out the race that it ran in the Breeders' Cup. That horse had no chance the way it was ridden by Alvarado so far back.
Yeah, look at this. These GSRs are just insane. How classy this horse is.
This horse, I mean, a mile and a half, this horse is almost unbeatable. Find me and then I go through and I try to find, okay, find me a grade 1 horse. Is there a grade 1 winner in here?
That's actually a good point to look for. No, this one's not. The 8 isn't. The 5 horse, that's the best point of all right there.
The Vergara is the closest thing with Flavian Prop. That makes easy handicapping. Those are 1, 2.
This horse is history. Interesting chop might be a horse you can get in for a price for second, but I mean the 6 horse looks like a single. Absolutely. All right. It's not sexy, but the horse does looks way too good for these horses. And Bill Mott is 22% off of layoffs. You know, Bruno, you see this a lot a lot of times these horses don't run very well, but horses that race in the Breeders' Cup and then go on the shelf and then come back, they don't usually do well. Now, this horse did. Back in 2022.
I don't deal in generalizations. Okay, I don't deal in generalizations.
You just take it based on the horse.
I take it based by horse basis. A generalization kill horse players.
Well,
you know, Mott is fantastic off a layoff. You think he wants to get this filly beat?
There just isn't. This is probably the easiest level of competition this horse has faced.
Right.
And well, look. If you look, she came back, raced in the Breeders' Cup Turf. Same thing. That was in 2022, and came back in the Bewitched and won that race. It's the same scenario that's being put here.
Trainers have it. They'll come back and do the same thing.
Yeah, either way. The bottom line is this is an easy group for Warlike Goddess, and she wins for fun, in my opinion. You?
I mean, I'd be stupid to go against her.
Yeah. All right.
I like to pick winners. I don't. There's time to pick the value, and there's time to pick winners. Period.
All right, let's sort by the pace. We got 2 more races. Let's go.
I have a saying about, I have another saying. Value is cashing a ticket. Betting value and losing is no value at all to me.
So what's the point?
I feel real good. Oh, I picked a 22-to-1 shot who ran up the track. I feel really good. It doesn't put nothing in your pocket. And unless
so your point is this just pick the winner?
Pick the winner. And if it's a value, it's value. If it's not, it's not. But who are you as a handicapper to tell what a value is? That's the funniest thing. Did
somebody mention value?
Huh?
Did somebody mention value? I don't know that anybody brought up anything with value.
No. But what I'm saying is horse players think that way. They feel that they have to go for value. What a lot of players do that is to brag. It's to brag. It's to say, I picked the 20-to-1 shot. No, you picked the 20-to-1 shot and he's still freaking running. Okay? Pick the winner. Pick the winner in the race. That's all I got to tell people. My greatest, and I've been able to be in this game for 35 years. Why? Because I like to pick winners. I don't play the game of, I bet a 20-to-1 shot. No, that does nothing for me. I want cash, money. I want to make money. You know, I don't need to be patted on the back. So, but I really didn't have anything in this ninth race. What did you have? What do you got?
Well, it does look like a tough race. The way you're supposed to play this is usually horses that are 3 lengths or more back at the stretch win very rarely. So you could throw out a lot of horses here, but you see these green arrows. That means that a lot of these horses are moving up in breeding from their last race. So this horse, the one, as an example, faced a 60 group or was a 60 GSR. Today it's a 71. The win percentage goes up, but it is facing tougher. So what you're looking for, like here's the 4. It's going up from 15 points in GSR, but the win percentage drops and it's facing tougher. So just looks okay to me. Then you got this Napa Candy. It's going up big time, 15 points in GSR, win percentage about the same, but it's facing tougher horses. So I think this is an absolute wide open race, but at the end of the day, the winner's probably within a length of the finish here. So I would probably say 5, 7, 8. I would think the EquinEdge picks probably have one of those horses going to win the race probably.
Yeah, that hurts.
And
but the problem, like you said, is the lack of speed.
Yeah, so let's look at, you got Happy Soul. What do you think of the run happies, by the way?
Each horse is different. I like an individual, and if it's a run happy or a creative cause or or a Timbuktu sire, they're good individuals and they've got the makeup. A good horse comes from anywhere and any size.
Is there a sire that you really like a lot, and if so, why?
Creative Cause is one. I've got a really, really good horse by Creative Cause. Creative Cause, a horse I watch train. He's got a lot of strong pedigree, Giants Causeway in him. But he's a middle distance horse. He's not a horse that people want to stretch those out. But Creative Cause, for the kind of money you would spend, yes, they would be very nice. But again, it goes back to an individual. You can buy, I did really well, $1.8 million filly by Dialed In called Miss Locust Point. I bought for $17,000. It was all about the individual. I bought Bo Cruz for $45,000. I bought a filly named Bridget Maloney. I bought her for $8,000. She earned $300,000. So, it's all about the individual. This guy, the pedigree. It's only, people are addicted like crack cocaine to that catalog page. And a lot of the times I've seen most of those horses run or train, and I'll look at it and say, why's all the fervor about this horse? Oh, the catalog page looks so good. And I look at it, and those horses were bad, Yeah. So a lot of the times you look at it and you go, you know what? If I get a good individual, I'm going for it. And that's the bottom line. Creative Cause was a good stallion. He's down in New Mexico now because they didn't support him. This industry supports only certain stallions, and you can go in there and you can find a good horse by a nominal stallion for and you're going to not pay or overplay. You go buy Quality Roads, you go buy Curlins, you go buy Violences, you're going to have to pay out your rear end for them, and they're not made out of gold. Let's put it that way. They're not. They got their issues, or Into Mischief. They got their issues too. So. It's just really interesting to me,
So,
the way things are.
I've been to a couple of sales last year for the first time. I bought 6 horses. And the one thing I've learned from my program and looking at the GSRs is it's literally 70-80% the mare. And so you can have, of course, we have all the ratings on the sires because they're breeding to so many mares, but the mares can only, have a baby every once in a while. So I think a lot of times the sire is overrated. I really do. I think what you want to do if you really want to see the breeding, you want to go look at the mom side, go look at the father, the grandfather, or even the dam's side of the family as well. I think I'm fairly confident based on what I've learned over the last couple of years that it's mostly on the dam side.
you have to buy something that has potential on the dam side. You know, Bo Cruz, for example. You know, Bo Cruz' third dam was Hello America. Hello America won 15 races. It was a grade 1 winner and earned over $1 million and was sold for over $1 million and was bred to Stormcat. So there was a lot of pedigree there. The second dam was Quick Temper, and Quick Temper was actually really fast. She was running -2 in the sheets. And the first dam, Quick Breeze, actually ran fast too, and actually had a decent horse before she passed away. So when you're looking at them, you really get an idea of, yeah, this horse has got everything and is there, and there's a lot of in his pedigree, and it's got an ability to really outrun to what they're going to ask for at the windows. I'll tell you another horse that I like that could outrun his odds tomorrow is in this 9th race. It's the 6th 2-item Saver. The Super Saver for Philly for Correas again. Gets Jose Ortiz, won't be 20-1. Throw out the last race at Gulfstream, but you look at some of those efforts at Keeneland. This horse won by 13 lengths last fall, and he's going at that same distance, faster distance again. So here is Correas reproducing what he did last fall by going 7 furlongs, and this horse should be speed and at the right time. This horse does everything right. It's not being asked. The rider's got his hands back. This horse is doing it super easy. He's not asking this horse to do a damn thing. Very, very nice work. This horse wants to go 7/8.
That was impressive. Here's an interesting horse for me, and I'll tell you why. But I want to watch this April 14th workout. You said unifying outside of Swiss Slang in 12, 23-3, 49-2, out in 102, both in hand evenly. Let's take a look at this workout because I'm looking forward to seeing that because I'm thinking that this horse might run a good race, and I'll explain to you why. But maybe you can talk us through this workout on unifying outside of Swiss Slang.
You know, Mott doesn't sit down his horses. You know, he's not
know what that means when you say set down. You're talking about
them to run as fast as they can. And I'm going to say this for everybody out there. This is not a race in the morning. I have seen people post stuff on Twitter that I go, oh, Lord have mercy. These people have been following the game all their life, and they haven't realized that they don't set them down. This is not like drag racing in the morning. And here, look at them. The riders are just standing up on them. They're not letting them to do anything. They're just getting exercise in. Okay? If any of you are runners, do you go out every morning when you run and try to beat the clock? No, you don't. Because I'll tell you one thing, you wouldn't last another 3-4 days doing that. You cannot use horses in the morning every single time and expect them to be good. I hate horses that work hard every single time, and I pass on them. And that's just a work over the track, not set down. They win easy.
All right, so let me tell you why. First of all, this is the EquinEdge second pick. It's Scotty's second pick. It's the EE morning line of 9-2. If you take a look at this first race off the layoff on 12:30, the horse drew the 2-hole, and we'll take a look at the trouble line. Shuffled was not a good trip, and it was against a 78 group off of a layoff, a long layoff for that matter. Okay, throw that out. Then you go into the next race. Had some issues, but barely lost that race only by a quarter of a length against a similar group to today, and that was from the 3-hole. Then faces an 80 group of horses in this grade 3 race. I mean, that was a much, much tougher group from the rail. Now gets a really good draw, has tactical speed, facing easier horses. GSR goes up a little bit. The win percentage goes up a little bit. I think Unifying is going to run a good race tomorrow.
And the way I see it, when you come off a 6-month layoff and you go a 1-turn mile at Gulfstream, the trainer has to train you hard to get you into that race to be completely fit. So you know what? It was probably the situation that they went in the paddock and Bill Mott, Riley Mott told IRAD, I got her in the stakes race. I don't know if she's completely tight. Take care of her. I got bigger thing I want to do later on. So he gives her a decent race, runs third, she gets fitter, and then she runs a big race second time out. Yeah,
that's a really good point to add on to that. So maybe take a look at a strong look at the 8. We'll take a look at one more horse only because it is the Scotty top pick. It's 3-1 EquinEdge morning line, and it's first on the race simulator. Here's a horse, Bruno, that doesn't have very much speed, and it's facing similar horses. It seems to be right there. It's not the best breaker in the world, and I know we've had this conversation, and that's probably why this horse, it still earned 300,000 in 8 tries with 3 wins, but it probably would have had $1 million earned if it could break out of a gate.
Maybe it's a horse that's just built not to be fast.
Yeah.
They tried to stretch it out twice. It didn't do anything. So there's something that keeps this horse from going a long distance of ground. You talk about Royal Spa, right?
Yeah, Royal Spa.
Yeah. And again, I think there's some things that are stopping this horse.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it should go long, but it's not going long for whatever reason. But maybe at this 7/8 distance, I mean, the horse won its only try. No, it didn't. It's earned $18,000 going 7 furlongs, but that was a 4th place finish in the La Brea over at Santa Anita. I mean, that was a very tough field. This is a much easier field. What I do like the 8 horse because I think the 8 horse is going to get first run on the 5. I think the EquinEdge picks have it right. I think this is going to be an 8-5 though. I give the 8 a big look. 9-2 on the EquinEdge morning line. Also, it's a horse to watch too. Okay, last race.
Scotty, I don't have anything in the last race, but I do have to run. I got a friend of mine knocking at the door, so
get out of here. I'll cover this last race. Always good stuff with you, Bruno. Always good meeting with you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'll be seeing you in the next couple weeks.
All right, I'll talk to you later. So we're not going to do a beat the clock next week. Bruno's going to be doing a lot of Kentucky Derby coverage, and I know that Chris and Oldie and Justin are going to be doing some coverage as well of the Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks. So always a good time with Bruno, and it's fun to stir him up a little bit too. I'll run the race here so we can cover all the races here. I'll sort the pace. Let's run this race. There we go. Now the big long shot is in the lead, but not by much. I'm assuming it's going to start fading back. The stretch run this Saturday. Yep. I think there's like 10 one-liners from every one of the shows that I do with Bruno. There's got to be 10 one-liners. It is fun. Okay, so I want to show you how to read some of this stuff too, and that is this. Where you find prices is, let's look at like a horse like the 4, okay? I'm not saying it's going to win. It is the Scotty long shot. It also, you see this green arrow? That's pointing that the GSR is going up. And you can see it's going from a 57, where this horse actually won that race with a 57, okay? And now it moves up to a 67, so 10 points. Win percentage drops. And the reason I'm guessing is because it's going from a 48 SOR to a 58. But that could spell that this race is wide open. So what I'm going to suggest is we have to look at this 8 horse Catch a Wave. Well, I'm going to do this race with you guys only because it's the last race of a pick 5, pick 6, pick 4, and what you do in this race is going to matter. And a lot of times people don't look at the last race as carefully as they should because they handicapped, let's just say a pick 5, the 5th to last race, then the 4th and 3rd. By the time they get there, they kind of settle, right? Do you find that you do that? I find that I do it as well sometimes, especially when the race is about to go off and I'm trying to get in my place. So the first thing I want to do in a race like this, when I see such a big win percentage, and I'm looking at the finish of the simulated race and it's got the horse barely winning, is really look at it carefully to see, has it burned money? First thing I do like is I like to see 6-5 on the EquinEdge morning line, but that's only an indicator of what the horse is going to go off at, not necessarily liking it any more than another horse. It's 37%, top EquinEdge pick, top GSR. So let's look at this horse. It broke last and seems to have had some issues. Very difficult to do that, especially first time. Also, very few horses can win, their first start going 2 turns on the turf. It doesn't happen very often. So I find myself a little confused with this horse, but the GSR is still huge. The win percentage goes up. The competition really doesn't go up that much with this horse, Catch a Wave. I think this horse, they've got good intent with this horse. Domingo barely broke its maiden. Now, the one thing I will say is you see this horse is running just okay on the synthetic and the dirt, right? A little bit better on the synthetic than the dirt, but then gets on the turf and wins. But you can see the last couple of races are just maintenance drills, basically. You can see that for sure. And you can see a 3-star work here. Domingo and Sassy Princess work 5/8 around the dogs, which basically, the dogs, there's cones on the turf course. So they don't wear down the turf course. And so these are horses, you can't go based on the time because they're just traveling, getting used to the turf, things like that. So clearly, if we look at the GSR Plus grid, you can see, well, it actually doesn't necessarily favor the dirt for this horse. It looks like it could do either. The one thing that is constant that we can see with this horse is that it wants longer. And you can see that when you start a horse in its first race going 8.5 on the turf, it wants longer. It doesn't look like it matters whether it's dirt or turf, but in the 2 dirt tries, this horse did not run very good. It's just okay. Am I looking at that horse thinking it's going to beat a horse like Catch a Wave? Not necessarily, right? And then now the win percentages drop. You want to look for some sleepers. I think that it would be fair to say that the 8 horse could be a horse that you would consider singling. Certainly a possibility. This horse is moving up. We talked about this, 10 points in GSR, but the win percentage goes down. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort it by the EE morning line. So let's do that. We'll sort here because one of the top 5 EE morning lines wins, or lowest EE morning lines wins like 85% of the time. So there's a good chance that if you look at the EE morning lines here, 15 on the 9, 20, 25, and 30, and low win percentages, nothing really indicating that any of these horses are great. The one thing I will say is you've got Mike Maker and Gaffleon. Now, the system's not really picking up on it, but this horse has run decent against better fields than what's lined up here. GSR drops a little bit. Win percentage goes up a little bit. You might look at that horse as a long shot, but I think it's pretty easily we could eliminate these horses here. The 9 horse. If the 8 doesn't run, then any one of these horses can win. But I will say this. Look what happened when they put this horse on dirt. So it went from a 65 GSR to a 54, and it ran okay, but as your favorite, that's a disappointing effort, right? So clearly the 2 best races for this horse have been on turf, clearly. So maybe as a long shot, you might want to use the 9. So that's what I'm seeing from here. Also, when you see the red arrow going down like this, these horses are only winning like 10% of the time. They don't win often, this bandwagon. And this horse is 9-2 on the morning line, and it's because of the connections. But when I look at this, I see this horse dropping from a 77 to a 60 GSR. It's still only 8% to win, and it's facing a little bit tougher. And the only thing this horse has ever done was break its maiden against a 44 group at 23%, a 77 GSR, and still barely won that race against only 5 horses. So the point is that I'm not saying this horse can't win. I'm just saying that these are the types of horses you're trying to beat. You know what I mean? So sometimes we just cover too many horses because maybe there's a couple of positives and we ignore the negatives. But that's what costs you on horizontal plays, like, pick 6s and pick 5s, things like that. It costs you by doing that. So you have to take a stand, whatever that stand might be. It might be a situation where you use the 8 horse and you go, there's something about this 9 horse, right? It dropped 11 points here in GSR on March 23rd. It didn't run bad, but look now, it's going up. Now, I wish this horse had like a 10% or 11% win chance. I don't like the 3%. Don't get me wrong, but Machado's been hitting with some long shots, Luan. Long shots, and they've almost always been horses that are closing. Almost always. So this horse could sit back and possibly make a run. Anyways, you might want to consider that. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's always a fun time with you guys. Tomorrow, 2022 NHC champ David Harrison with me, yours truly, on Road to the NHC at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Hopefully you guys can make it. A lot of good stuff we're covering. We're essentially what we're doing with that show, Road to the NHC, if you haven't seen it yet, is we're showing you how you can get into feeders, go to the NTRA and join. It's $50 a year to join and be a member. And and it's a lot of fun. Then you can go to horsetourneys.com, horseplayers.com, and you can enter into some tournaments. In fact, there's usually a free tournament every month, I believe, but there was a free tournament this past Sunday, I want to say, and one of the EquinEdge customers got second with almost 2,100 people. And Christina, big shout out to you if you're watching. Great job. So happy for you that you got that. Amazing. There you go. So the NYRA is starting back its contest this weekend. And but looking forward to showing you. Yours truly is still on the leaderboard, the top of the leaderboard on the tour. I'm going to be putting in my plays tomorrow, and I put in. Hopefully, I can get my second entry into the NHC, which is the best time in the world. It's a great time. Get qualified for the 2025 NHC in Las Vegas, Nevada, in March next year, and we'll teach you how to do it. All right. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Don't forget, Road to the NHC. And on Saturday, you're not going to want to miss the stretch run. These guys are killing it right now. So you have a wonderful night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.